Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Ahmadiyyah TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye. As you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget that memberships are available. The moderators will put the link in the chat for you. All right, memberships range from as low as $2.99 to $49.99. All right, so with that all being said, hello, Mr. Hotel, Capricornus, Nessie X, Juju B in the house, Emperor Rex. All right, that Crazy Beach Aries, Shalavit is here. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. All right. That Crazy Beach Aries said, I love my membership. Thank you, beloved. And you know, pretty soon on this channel, memberships are going to be mandatory. Okay, I'm only going to be doing lives for members. Okay, after a while, because I have so much other stuff going on, and I'm going to start going live on a couple of my other channels. So I'm not going to have time to be doing members only lives as well as non-members lives. So of course the members get preferential treatment. So I'll be doing lives for members only. All right, started in the next 2 weeks. Okay, so please pay attention. So if you don't have a membership, you won't be getting your spiritual vitamins from this channel. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. All right, hey G from the land, Terry Hinton in the house. Okay, Miss Hotel said, no excuses. Get a membership, y'all. Tell them, Mr. Hotel, honey. All right. But so anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be talking about how you can tell if you're spiritually ascending. Okay, 8 ways to tell. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint presentation. Everyone, please get those likes up. Thank you in advance. Juju B said exactly. Pay attention. Tell them, Juju B. Support the art said, I'll get my membership soon, Queen. Thank you, beloved. And you know, remember, you can get a membership for $2.99. Okay, so there's really no excuse other than people are just being cheap and nefarious. Pay attention. All right, you can get a membership for $2.99. It doesn't matter which membership you get as long as you have a membership. Okay, so with that all being said, let me go ahead and get this PowerPoint presentation started so we can get this party on the road. All right, here we go. Lights up, everyone. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. All right, 8 signs that you're spiritually ascending. Now, if you've been following this channel, particularly for the last year or so, even within the last 6 months, you should be spiritually ascending somewhat. Specifically, if you've been doing your positive affirmations and doing your shadow work. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, what is a spiritual awakening? Okay, this is how you know that you're ascending. You start to experience your spiritual awakening. The notion of a spiritual awakening has been around for centuries and can be observed in a variety of cultures and religions around the world. Call it nirvana, call it enlightenment, call it bliss. A spiritual awakening begins the moment a person can step back and awake to their life with a new sense of being in this world. What does that exactly mean? Well, you start to realize your divine purpose. You start to realize that you're not just here to live a mundane existence. You're not just here to just exist. You're here because you're a spiritual being having a spiritual or having a human experience. Okay, and you actually chose, your soul chose to come here and to live this life before you even made it through the spiritual realm. Okay, please pay attention. Now, the first things first, when you're going through a spiritual ascension, you'll start to have shifts in relationships. You see, people will start to leave your life for one reason or another. You don't mind at all because they're those who usually absorb your energy and benefit from you in some way. Okay, those who take from you but bring nothing to the table. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about friends and even family members. Some of these people will start to fall by the wayside because you'll start to realize, and they'll start to realize, they don't have anything in common with you. And it's not going to matter. It's not going to bother you or worry you or stress you out because you'll see and realize that these are people that are not on your same spiritual path anyway. These people are not going where you're going. These people don't understand what you're dealing with, and they are not trying to elevate themselves or to evolve. Okay? And so yet they greatly benefit from your presence. They're not on a spiritual path as you are. So some of these people will just start falling by the wayside. And I don't mean that you'll just start cutting them off. Now, you may do that in some cases, because I do. When you're on a spiritual path, on a spiritual journey, you tend to shy away from negativity. You want to be high vibrational and around people that are high vibrational, people who speak life into you, who carry light rather than darkness, people who are positive and optimistic rather than pessimistic and full of darkness. So you will cut some of these people off, but most of the time, you won't even have to cut them off. They'll just stop coming around. They'll just become scarce. They won't call you as much. And oftentimes this is because they no longer understand you and they think that now you're changing. They'll feel like you're acting brand new. Well, because you are brand new. You're a brand new you. And when you become a brand new you, you start to leave the old ways, the negative thinking patterns, the negative behaviors, and all of those things. You start to leave those things behind you. And some people take that as, oh, you're thinking you're better than someone else. Well, that's not what it is. You're just going on a different journey that they may not be ready to embark upon. And some of them may never embark upon that same journey. Please pay attention. Now, you may also start to experience astral travel. You began to astral travel and you can see into other dimensions. You may often wake up exhausted afterwards. Now, this is because you're likely engaged in spiritual warfare on another plane of existence. If you wake up drained, sometimes you can tell, in your dreams that will become more vivid, and we'll talk about that in a second, but you'll start to see, different galaxies. It'll feel like sometimes in the dream, you'll see yourself in the universe. You may be flying through. You may just feel like you're in a whole nother world. Things don't look familiar to you. Sometimes you'll even see dark, nefarious, malevolent entities when you are dreaming. These things will be trying to battle you because this is spiritual warfare. They realize that you are awakening into your higher self, into your true self, and that you're starting to remove the veil and you're awakening to different things that you've been blinded to for so long. And they want to stop that. Okay, so these malevolent spirits will often attack you in your dreams. And this is another reason why you'll wake up feeling drained. Now, the third thing is you may begin to experience downloads. Some of you already experience downloads. Some of you may have been experiencing them since you were young, like I have. Okay, this is because you are in tune and you have a deep connection to the Most High and to the spiritual realm. You were born that way. Some people have these things within them, but they lie dormant. And so as you start to ascend and awaken and become more and more enlightened, these things will rise and they will come out of being dormant and they will be more active in your life. And then you can use this to your benefit. Now, how does your body feel? Well, when you start receiving downloads, you have different types of sensations. You see, you should get to know your regular body sensations and the sensations that seem to have a pattern. Now, the more in touch you are with your body, the more you will recognize and benefit from its abundant messages to you. I often feel tingling sensations. Sometimes I get goosebumps, and sometimes I feel warmth in my hands. Sometimes my left eye may twitch when I'm receiving a download or right before I receive the download. Okay, now how do you feel emotionally? Spiritual downloads can bring in a feeling of euphoria, joy, or other high vibrational emotions. And sometimes just before or even during the download, you get a sense of quiet, stillness, as though you feel nothing at all, as though you're just so relaxed and calm. Okay, now I find emotions hit me more after the download has come through. And then also, what's happening in your mind? What are you thinking about? What were you thinking about a few minutes ago? Did you notice your thoughts disappear? Thinking is usually on pause during a download. So let's just say if you were about to say something, and it's right on the tip of your tongue. And then all of a sudden that thought just evaporates. You can't remember what you were just thinking. Well, maybe that's because a download was just coming through. And so that is when your thinking or the thought that you were focusing on may just disappear. Now, how do you feel spiritually or energetically? We all have different abilities in terms of what used to be. And back in the day, we called it ESP, or extrasensory perception. You'll see from the examples that I have for you. I'm sorry, I think I posted those on here. I was supposed to post some examples below, that some of us hear messages, some of us smell or see visions, some of us just sort through sense or know something or have feelings that are hard to describe. Okay, but you know that something is going on. I thought I was going to put this on the same slide. Let me see if I put it on the next one. I didn't. So let me just give you some examples. You may find that you're more in tune with nature, okay? And you become more aware of things around you, like not just feeling the energy, but you may smell things like when malevolent spirits are around. You can literally smell them. You don't have to see them. You can smell them. Sometimes you'll smell like sulfur, okay? Something that smells like rotten eggs, because these things are dirty and filthy. They call them unclean spirits. So you may smell things that smell like dirty mop water, or like someone went to the bathroom and didn't flush. Those things, okay? This is how you know that you're becoming more spiritually in tune. And these are some of the things that happen when you start to get downloads. On the other side of the coin, you may start to smell fragrances like flowers, okay? You may have a desire to smell certain essential oils, different types of essential oils and things like that. You may hear things that other people don't hear when they're right around you in close proximity to you. Okay, these are just some of the different things that you may experience when you're receiving your downloads. And sometimes the downloads come to us in the form of dreams. Okay, you wake up with something on your mind because it came to you in a dream that you dreamt. That's why you should be keeping dream journals and writing down the things that you think about and things that you dream about. Sometimes our dreams are blatant, like we dream something and we know exactly what it means when we wake up. But sometimes our dreams are almost metaphorical. You may have a dream and then you have to decipher it and figure out what it means. Now, what's happening in the moment and what happens afterwards when you're receiving these downloads? Did you have a sudden experience? Did you suddenly get an idea and then write like there's no tomorrow? Some people call this automatic writing. Okay. Now, or do you suddenly feel compelled to tell your friend a message while you're talking with him or her? I often find or have spiritual downloads, they come suddenly, they come so quickly. I'm not expecting it. Or sometimes I have a sense of urgency. Okay. And you may have a sense of urgency associated with your downloads as well, because they are a very high frequency energy and they move quickly and they prompt you to act or move quickly. When you get the downloads, you feel like, okay, I've got to do exactly what spirit is telling me. I can't wait. Sometimes you'll feel anxious. And then you may have a decrease in appetite. Now, you will become less inclined to eat low vibrational foods or consume unhealthy beverages. You will eat less, but opt for healthier choices when you do eat. We tend to eat less when consuming foods that energize us as opposed to those that leave us feeling tired and drained. When you start to spiritually ascend, you won't be craving. You may every now and then crave these things, but you'll be able to fight those cravings because spiritual ascension gives you the ability to be more disciplined and to yield less to temptations. So if you have been eating fast food, drinking sodas and things like that, you will feel inclined to eat healthier. You may want some of those things when you see them or smell them, but you will know that they're not healthy for you. That's not a healthy choice. So let me just eat something that's going to make me feel better, that's going to make me feel good about myself, something that's going to boost my energy. Now, another thing is vivid dreams. Now, when you're having vivid dreams, it's often because you're healing something within your waking life. Vivid dreams are a shortcut to the healing process. So, in your physical life, you grow and change as a person, and so even your soul becomes different, right? Now, through two things, this will happen, and that is active efforts to heal and physical experiences. With active efforts to heal, you use your thoughts and emotions to heal and release energy, negative energy, so that you don't have to play it out in a physical experience, which will take longer and sometimes be the harder or more painful lesson. Okay, this is why you should be doing the shadow work. It helps you to stay away from negativity, to engage less with negative people and negative actions and negative patterns of thought. Remember, the things that we think about absolutely manifest the longer and the more we focus on them. Now, your vivid dreams are your soul's efforts to bring negative energy from the subconscious to the conscious. You're not, or feel like you are not in control of your dreams. Okay? You may feel like you are, but you're not. Sometimes, though, when you have lucid dreams, you can actually control those dreams. And lucid dreams, when I have them, I absolutely can tell myself to do certain things in the dream, and I can do it. Because in a lucid dream, you actually know, you're conscious of it. You're consciously aware that it's a dream. And so when you know it's a dream, then you can pretty much, do certain things. You can control it to some degree. But normally in dreams, you can't, because you don't even have an idea that it's a dream until you awaken from it. Okay. Now your brain is making connections beyond your conscious and offers you the chance to clear them quickly through these vivid dreams. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to get those likes up. Thank you in advance. Now, when you sleep, your spirit body wakes and interacts with other spirits in other dimensions. Okay, this is part of you ascending spiritually. Like I said, you may feel like you're floating through the galaxy, like you're out there in the cosmos with the universe. Okay, you can do this, experience this when you're dreaming, but also sometimes when you're meditating, you can actually do this. So this is why some people get premonitions about other people when they wake up. A vivid dream means your spirit had an interesting adventure that could be profound. Dreams are one way that spirit uses to communicate with us. You might want to keep a journal by your bed and write down your dream experiences as you awake, so you can retain the images of the stories and develop your intuitive nature more fully and get useful impressions. Now, I know you all should remember, because I've told you the story a couple of times, where I had a dream one night, and this was years ago. This was in 2019. I had a dream on a Wednesday night that I was walking with my youngest son and two other guys, and I never saw their faces in the dream. They were wearing hoodies, but they were walking with me and my son, and they were supposed to be friends of mine. And so we went to one of their houses, and we were in the dream. Someone was after us. Someone wanted to do something nefarious to us. Now, I don't know why, but that's what I knew in the dream, that someone wanted to harm us. So we were going to this guy's house to try to get a game plan together to figure out how we're going to, counter whatever they're trying to do to us. So we're in the house, and we have out like this blueprint, and we're just writing down what we're going to do and all of this. And then we hear a noise in the hallway. And so everybody's like, wait a minute, what's that noise? Did you hear that? And then all of a sudden we hear footsteps. Now, nobody's supposed to be there but us. And then all of a sudden in my spirit, I knew that it was a demon. And I said, it's a demon. And then we saw a shadowy figure coming towards us. So everybody jumped up and ran. Now, as everyone ran, I was the last one because I was the farthest from the door. Right after I stepped over the threshold, and everybody else is gone down the stairs by now because we're on the second floor. As soon as I stepped across the threshold, that entity grabbed me and it held me up over its head, and it was about to throw me over the balcony, okay, down 2 flights of stairs. Now, I was so afraid in the dream that I woke up. So when I woke up, I immediately wrote that dream down in my journal because I knew that that had some type of significance. So then the next night, which was a Thursday, I had a dream where me and my younger son, those two same guys, were walking down the street. Somebody was after us. I still didn't know why, but we were going to my house this time to try to figure out what's going on. So we get to my house and we're doing the same thing that we did in the last dream. We have a blueprint out. We're trying to figure out how we can counter it. And then all of a sudden we hear a noise. And I look at them and I put my finger to my mouth and I'm like telling them not to say anything. And so I go out of the room and walk into the hallway to see what the noise is, where it's coming from and what it is. My back door is wide open and there I see a huge tiger. The tiger locks eyes with me. Now I know my first impulse is to run, but I know I can't outrun this thing. So what I'm thinking is, okay, I'm pretty much going to be dead, but I need to get them out of the house to safety. What can I do to get them out of here? So I start running and I'm yelling, get out, death is coming, death is here, get out. So they run out of the back door or the front door because the tiger came in through the back. So they run out of the front door and I'm running behind them. And right as I step over the threshold, just like in the other dream, the tiger grabs me in its clutch and it sits down and it starts to devour me. Now, I feel the teeth going through my skin. It doesn't really hurt as much as I would have thought, but then it starts to clamp down on my ribs. And I start praying to the Most High and asking the Most High to forgive me for all of my wrongs and to please let me go quickly. Now, as this is happening, I close my eyes and I'm praying. And then the tiger, I feel it biting through my rib cage. That's when I know I'm going to die quickly because it's going to pierce my heart soon. So when I wake up, I write down this dream. And that's when I realized it's the same dream that I had the night before, but instead of a malevolent entity or demon, it is a tiger. Now, I was on Facebook. Back then, I used to be on Facebook. So I did a live about this and I was telling everybody this dream. And so a couple of days, and this is the thing, I said that the dream means that I'm going to be in the belly of the beast because the tiger was devouring me. But I kept asking myself, why is it that when I tried to warn the others in the house, why did I scream death? Death is coming. Get out of here. It's death. Why didn't I say it's a tiger in here? Well, a couple of days after that, my aunt died. My aunt that I was very close to. She actually died from an asthma attack. So on September the 18th, okay, just days later. So the dream was a warning. It was a premonition. It was letting me know. And that made sense because that's why I was screaming death. Okay, so pay attention to those things. Now, when you sleep, your spirit body wakes and interacts with other spirits in other dimensions. This is why some people get premonitions about other people when they wake up. A vivid dream means that your spirit had an interesting adventure that could be profound. Dreams are one way that spirit uses to communicate with us. You might want to keep a dream journal by your bed and write down your dream experiences as you awake, so you can retain the images, stories, and develop your intuitive nature more fully and get useful impressions. And I also just told you that story so you would understand how important it is to write down these dreams as soon as you awake, because sometimes throughout the day, we lose the dream. Okay, we don't remember it. And sometimes we remember fragments of it, just small bits and pieces. Now, if it's a message that the Most High is trying to give you, if it's a download, then you need to be able to remember it accurately. So you want to write these things down. Now, if you're meditating on a regular basis, such dreams may be a sign that your mind can induce a deeper meditation and connection with your spirit guides. Dreams are also useful in analyzing current life problems that you're trying to solve or resolve. They are expressed in symbols and feelings, sometimes using common objects of your daily experience, and therefore may not always be obvious and require interpretation. So try to write down the feelings and the objects of the story or the dream sequences that are associated together. If you are having difficulty interpreting them, you could discuss them with someone you trust and who knows the issues that you're dealing with. Now, the sixth thing is you experience more synchronicities and deja vu. Well, I experience synchronicity all of the time. Mr. Hotel can tell you about this, okay? I literally have synchronicity all of the time. It is crazy to me sometimes. And deja vu. Now, sometimes the deja vu may come from your astral traveling, okay? You may actually have astral traveled and then you awake and don't remember. And then so you go to a place or you think about something and you say, this seems familiar. Well, maybe you visited that place in the astral realm or when you astral traveled, okay? Synchronicities are a form of divine guidance. They are one way that your angels or your ancestors, spiritual guides, the universe, or a higher power communicate with you. Now, Ohato, and this is a person who's very spiritually in tune, who writes books and does podcasts about these things. Ohato reminds us that synchronicity is a powerful force that moves through our lives. Deja vu is an eerie feeling of familiarity that most of us will experience at least once in our lives. It is defined as a feeling of having already experienced the present situation. A moment of deja vu. And some people equate this to past life experiences, like something they dealt with in a different lifetime. And sometimes that's absolutely the case. Now, a moment of deja vu can be easy to ignore and brush aside. But from a spiritual perspective, it is a key indicator that you are on the right path and are meant to be where you are currently at, okay, where you stand right in that moment. Feeling disconnected is a normal part of this human experience that comes during times of transition, hardship, and or spiritual ascension. Okay, you may feel disconnected sometimes. While scary and overwhelming, feeling disconnected is only temporary and gives us with wisdom that we may not have otherwise gained. You see, sometimes you just want to disconnect from everybody. You want to stay off your phone, stay off the internet. Sometimes you just want to be by yourself. You want to be isolated sometimes just so you can get to know yourself better, so you can have conversations with yourself. This is when you should be doing your positive self-talk and your positive affirmations. This is when you should be meditating, okay, which is listening to God. And this is when you should be praying, okay, which is talking to God. The seventh thing is you start to reevaluate your beliefs. Now, the foundation of everything is your values and what's important to you. When you don't know what your values are and what is important to you and what your likes and dislikes are, you end up floating through your life at the whim of other people. See, these are the people that are always concerned about what other people think of them. These are the same people who try to mimic and copy what other people are doing because they have an identity crisis because they don't know who they really are. Okay. They don't know what they really want out of life. So they're just following someone else's guidelines rather than their own. Your life doesn't have a solid foundation when you're doing these things. Now, when you know your values and ethics and moral beliefs, you begin to live from them for them. Okay. That makes it easier to build a life that is true to you and helps you to guide your kids and your family in a direction that feels right for you. Because now you're being your authentic self and you're rising into your higher self. And when you rise into your higher self, you find it more pleasing and satisfying to be of service to others rather than yourself. You become a more selfless person rather than being a selfish person. Now, during any hard time, cracks begin to show up in the foundations of our lives. Over time, our values shift and we learn new things about ourselves and the world around us. Most of the time, though, we don't stop to think about what exactly has changed us. Now is the best time to really evaluate what's important to you. It will be your North Star. Now, as you do so, you may start to realize that things you've always believed now don't even seem to make much sense. You see that the Bible is allegorical and not to be taken literally. You may find that, you may decide to stop celebrating holidays, okay, which are not initially part of your culture. You understand the difference between religion and spirituality. Many think that they're the same, but they're not. If you've been following this channel for a while, then you should already know that. And the eighth thing is you have prophetic dreams. You start to experience downloads and visions just out of the blue. If you've already had those, if you've already been having these, like I have myself, well, they will become more prevalent and your spiritual gifts are now stronger than ever before. And so in a dream, every little thing is a symbolic feeling, emotion, or wound or wound that you experience in your physical life. Now, the contents of your dream point directly to the contents of your energy field, okay, that you cannot see. The contents of your dreams are usually full of negative energy that you need to release from your energy field. Now, the dream is your soul's way of bringing the subconscious to the conscious. And this is another reason, you see, why it's very important that we meditate so that we can focus on positive things and release the negative energy. I promise you, the negative energy is holding you back. It's hindering you. The negative energy is what makes you worry and be stressed and makes you say things about yourself that are not positive, that makes you feel, like things can't get better, that keeps you in a pessimistic mindset. And so you have to always be working on building yourself up rather than tearing yourself down. Because in most cases, we are, in fact, our own biggest critics. Okay? And so does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions before I roll out of here? Hey, Kenyatta. Support the Arts said, Queen, are you talking about Robert Ohato? Yes, I absolutely am, beloved. Yes. Judy said, yes, I needed that, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay, Prince of Paraphernalia, aka POP, said, oh wow, I gotta redo my membership this evening. I didn't mean for it to slip by me like that. That's okay, beloved. Juju says, so informative and positive. Thank you. Okay. Reggie said, great broadcast. Hey, Reggie. Thank you, beloved. Okay. So listen, I hope everyone got something out of this, and the things that you learn as you travel along your spiritual journey, the things that you find out as you further awaken, try to share those with other people. But here's the thing. When you are trying to share your spiritual information with other people, pay attention to their reaction, to their response. Because sometimes people are not ready for it, and sometimes people look at us crazy. So you can always gauge whether a person is interested or not by their response. Okay. If I'm talking to someone about astral projection, astral travel, if I'm talking to someone, about spiritual warfare and things like that, vivid dreams, lucid dreams, prophetic dreams and things like that, and they're looking at me crazy, or they seem like they don't want to talk about it, or they're just not giving me a positive reaction, I don't feel a positive energy, then I quickly change the conversation, because I don't want anyone to feel as though I'm trying to enforce my beliefs upon them. I'm only trying to help motivate, encourage, and inspire someone else and teach them what I have learned. Now, if the person is not receptive, then I just back off. So just be careful when you're talking to people. Pay attention to their body language, to how they're receiving what you're giving, because some people are just not receptive to it. And some people don't even, want to entertain certain things that we discuss and learn in spirituality, because remember, many of the churches have taught them that some of these things are occult practices, like the study of numerology and astrology. But sadly, they don't realize that it's all throughout the Bible. How many times have I pointed that out to you? And some people don't want to believe that the Bible is absolutely allegorical, okay? That it is not to always be taken literally. Some people, you can't tell them that. They think that Jonah was swallowed by a whale. Okay, they believe that Noah really built this ark and took on 2 of every unclean animal and 7 of every clean. They don't ask themselves, well, where did Noah get the food to feed the lions and tigers? Well, what did he do to save the sharks and the whales? They belong in water. They don't ask themselves those questions because they've been indoctrinated into a certain form of thinking. And so you cannot tell them anything different. And each person has to learn at their own pace. Okay? The divine order said, yep, church says it's demons. Exactly. But like I said, this is all throughout the Bible, numerology and astrology. And so if they really just took the time to read the Bible and try to decipher it for themselves to have their own understanding, rather than listening to what they've been indoctrinated to think and believe, maybe they would awaken to figure that all out. Okay. If you go to your local library, you will find that the Bible will be in the fiction section. Okay. That's a fact. The Bible will be in the fiction section. That's because it's full of metaphors, allegorical stories, analogies. And if you remember or you think about it, when Jesus spoke to the multitude, he spoke to them in parables, okay? Symbolic speaking and things of that nature. Juju said, meanwhile, saying it's bad, but in the background practicing it. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Everyone, please like and share this video. Okay, until next time, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives.